All right. What is up, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about how to increase the longevity of your hair system today. Now, there's a couple different factors that augment that, but first, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell below. That way, other people see this channel. About 60% of the people watching this channel right now are people who have never watched any hair loss content before, which means that you're changing people's lives and their possibilities by just simply doing one of those actions. So today we're going to be talking about how to increase the longevity of your hair system, which is huge, right? Everyone wants to save money. Everyone wants to extend their hair system as long as possible. And it's also just more friendly for, well, one, the production of these, the supply chain. That way you're not running through a hair system every 2 months. You're running through one maybe every 4, every 6 months, or maybe 8 months. We've talked with people on this channel that have gone all the way to about 10 months, which is wild, right? So there's a couple things that cut down on the longevity of your unit. When it comes down to it, right, there is the color changing of your unit, which, as you can see right now, mine has actually changed from the original color that it was, which is something that we'll be addressing soon. I'm going to get a new system put on, and we're going to be better prepared for that. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do that as well. Another one of the problems is, of course, hair loss from the unit, and that can come from many different things. So really, this video is going to be all about how to prevent hair loss when you're sleeping. Now, a lot of people don't think that when you are sleeping, there's a lot of potential to have hair loss. A lot of people are afraid that they're going to have their hair system pulled off, or that for some reason when they're playing sports, that's when they're going to lose some hair, or it's going to be really harsh on the unit. But actually, one of the harshest things for your hair system is sleep. And that's because we constantly have this thing called friction with our pillowcases. Now, let's go back and talk about friction for a second. Now, hair systems, the hair inside of them are generally on the drier side because they lack the natural oils that our organic, our bio hair generally has. Now, friction can occur with that dry hair on any surface that's constantly rubbing up against it. So this may be a pillowcase, it may be a helmet, it may be a hat even. And the fact that it causes friction also does something else that's interesting. Friction opens up the cuticle of the hair and actually damages it and makes it harder to comb, and eventually leads to hair loss. But on top of that, when our hair is in contact with a pillowcase for around 8 hours a night, which is, if you think about it, is about a third of the day, and we're tossing and turning and we're rolling around, unless you're sleeping perfectly still, which most of us don't, your hair is constantly rubbing and moving up against your pillowcase. Now, what this results in is, number one, tangles. Tangles can greatly diminish the quality of your hair system and the longevity of your hair system, because it ultimately can lead to hair loss. And if you don't take care of those tangles by brushing it very carefully, you're going to eventually have a not so great looking unit, and it's going to start losing hairs very quickly. Now, let's talk about how we can actually make a difference when it comes to sleeping with our hair system. Well, the best thing that you can possibly do is to find a pillowcase that is non-friction based. That's just fancy for saying find a silk pillowcase. Cotton or textile based pillowcases, they have a roughness to them, they have a grippiness to them, if you will, versus silk. Run your hands over it. It's much smoother. It does not cause any friction, hair slides right off of it. This makes it much better for hair systems, and it's something that is just highly recommended to preserve the longevity of your unit. A silk pillowcase may be more expensive, but ultimately the benefits that you're going to get over the longevity of your unit are going to pay dividends. And I'm going to include a link to a silk pillowcase, one that I use, down inside of the description. And that's just because, guys, hey, if you want to buy one real quick after watching this video, you go ahead and do it. Now let's talk a little bit more about sleep and ways that we can damage the hair. One of the other components really comes down to having wet hair when you're sleeping. Now, you never, ever, it's one of the cardinal points to not go to sleep with wet hair if you're wearing a hair system. It's not good for you, generally speaking, even if you have your bio hair. But with a hair system, it's really bad for it, because it has the potential to really mat down the hair and create tangles, and it's a quick way to lose your hair. Not only this, but wet hair actually is the weakest form that our hair is in. So when you go to sleep on wet hair, not only does it mat it down, it has the most potential for breakage on your pillowcase, for being pressed into it all night. And as you toss and you turn, this friction that exists on the pillowcase is much more likely to cause breakage, which is not good. That's just not desirable whatsoever. Now, the other thing that you could possibly do to prevent breakage and hair loss while you're sleeping, this doesn't go for most of the men and most of the people that are watching on this channel, but if you have a longer hairstyle, if you have, something that is on the longer side, you're gonna wanna actually consider braiding your hair to give it some integrity and to make sure that it doesn't get tangled. This isn't something that has to be a tight braid, just something that's loose, or you can even put on something like a hairnet as you sleep. Now, this is not something that most of us are going to be concerned with on this channel. Most of us have shorter styles, and that's okay, but I just wanted to throw this out there. So guys, just a short video today on this tip. We've talked a little bit about it inside of the comments, but I think it's really important for you to know about this. Once again, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell below, all of that jazz. And if you want to join me on this crusade of destigmatizing hair loss, consider joining me on Patreon, and we'll get you situated in a hurry. All right, talk to you soon.